I can just kind of continue for a second on the social media theme, is it something that you found with Sheffield United has been a big problem? The reason why I ask is clearly we're speaking to Wednesday and Barnsley about all these types of things, and Sheffield United's players, directly and indirectly, have really referenced that kind of abuse that they've had this season quite a lot. So is it something that they talk about and you're acutely aware of quite a lot within the dressing room?
Yeah, we're aware of things that have obviously come into the public domain. Primarily the racist abuse, which we are all obviously disgusted with, and it's of no reference or consequence to any sort of performance or result. We're all aware of that, and it's disgusting. But yeah, I think if you discuss it and you're open about it, and it does help to deal with any criticism, might be performance-related criticism, because everyone's got an opinion on football, you know, and as I said before, this platform just provides people a way to express that. Now, if it's done in the right way, fine, because you go and have a pint in a pub somewhere and you could easily disagree with someone with a totally different opinion on football, no problem. But it's like I said, in everyday life, if you're meeting face to face, there's an element of respect there, or there's a way you have to behave, or there's consequences. We need to get that online as well. And that's the problem, that people can behave in a way, you don't even know how old they are, you don't even know how educated they are, but certainly they can just keep getting away with it because there's no consequences, there's no checks. So they're the issues, and that's fundamentally the reason behind the boycott.
And that's where some of the debate gets lost, isn't it? I'm sure most players could handle a little if somebody said to them, you weren't very good today, even if it's a bit sweary, I suppose, as they do that kind of thing. But it goes far beyond that, doesn't it?
It goes far beyond it, but it's a breeding ground for it. It promotes a wrong way of behaving. It actually promotes just comments that don't make sense, comments with no justification, comments with no evidence. Even the comments about just performance, if you're purely talking about performance, it does stimulate debate in a good way. We know that can be used in a really good way, but just the way in which it's set up provides a platform for people to just put whatever they want. And sometimes the more outrageous they are, the more followers they get. Sometimes the more outrageous they are, the more responses they get. And when it's all about hits on a website or popularity or amount of people knowing what a certain website is, then the more outrageous the better in some people's eyes, and it's totally wrong.
Changing tack, how much of a positive and a boost is it that Sander Berge might play some football this weekend after such a long time on the sidelines?
Yeah, listen, first and foremost for him, he's had to work hard. It was an injury out of nothing, a serious injury out of nothing, and everyone's worked hard with him, so he'll be delighted. The medical team will be delighted. The rest of the players and staff are, and as well as the fans. The fans are looking forward to getting him back involved and in the squad, and everyone's pulling in the same direction for him. So yeah, we're pleased. He's put in the work, and as I said, he'll be integrated back into the squad now.
Is Basham in a position to play, or is he a little bit behind, or at least some football maybe at Spurs, or is he a bit behind Sander?
Yeah, well, he's obviously behind because he's only trained this week, but a less serious injury, which is fine. He's a naturally fit boy, and he's only missed a few weeks rather than months. So yeah, from that respect, there's a lot less risk with playing Bash and involving him. But we have to be conscious that he's not going to be 100%. We know that because of the time he's been out and the short period he's been back in training with us.
Does the statement that was put out by the club and the comments from Steve Bettis this week turn your leadership of the team now into an audition, whether you like it or not, for the job?
No, not at all. I think, listen, if we're honest, that's more a comment for everyone else, isn't it? And to show the direction of the club and the process is ongoing. In terms of my approach, the players' approach, our conversations we have internally as a performance group, staff and players, no, nothing will change. It won't change anything in terms of our approach. So, no, I think it's just important that the club provide that sort of clarity for the fans and make sure that everyone understands that there is work going on behind the scenes, and they're doing as much as they possibly can to make the right decisions.
I should have asked this at the time, and I didn't really, because it was part of a wider conversation, but you were talking about the fact that the club ask your opinion on things, and you're there and helping out in that respect. Enlighten us on that. What sort of things are they wanting you to essentially help them make decisions on right now? Is it about ins and outs and the future?
Yeah, all that type of stuff. Ins, outs, the future, the club, and just general football matters, decisions. There's still a recruitment department here. There's still obviously sports science, medicine, things like that. They all need to keep improving and driving and want to make things better so they can perform better next season. So everything to do with the football club really. And then obviously myself and Jack still discussing the academy players, contracts for academy players, retention, things like that, possible loans for those players next season. So all these decisions that are ongoing every day. It's important that everything keeps getting pushed forward, everything keeps getting driven in the right direction, and then when there is someone at the helm with the responsibility to drive the club forward, they can have the best start in place that they can possibly take up.
I wonder, when that statement dropped, part of you rolled your eyes a little bit and thought, oh crikey, I'm going to get asked about the job every press conference between now and the end.
Yeah, I was prepared for it anyway. I've got asked a few times about it anyway, and but as I said, honestly, nothing will change. It's not changed my approach, and it won't. I'm lucky in terms of, I know, like I said before, I stepped up. We had real clarity in what the club wanted from me, what it looked like. So helping out as much as I possibly could, giving a bit of stability to the team, the players, and the staff, with nothing affecting my role going forward as well, because the club knew I really enjoyed that. I think we're having a lot of success with that, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of doing that as well. So I'm lucky really, I can't lose.
Changing tack then to the game, there is actually a football match this weekend. Spurs minus Jose Mourinho, do they seem like a different beast today than perhaps they might have done 2 weeks ago?
Well, they will, because Ryan and Chris, and they'll be working on different things without a doubt. I couldn't tell you the feel of the place or how the players are feeling, and no doubt, as always happens with a change in manager, some will be more pleased than others, some will be really disappointed. And it's just something, as a manager, that it happens. It's a horrible part of the job. No manager's really given enough time, but in terms of how it affects them, we won't know. We don't know. But all we can do is prepare ourselves. We know, like I said, it's a real good group of players that, regardless how well they're playing at any moment in time, they've got players who can produce key passages of play that can take a game away from you. And I think, if I'm honest, I think the game at Bramall Lane was similar to that. Our performance as a club was pretty decent, and some real key moments in the game meant that Spurs went away with the 3 points. So we know how good they can be.